Let's get started. Number 10, explaining things clearly. You know that person who can take something complicated and make it make sense? That's genuinely rare. Most people who understand something can't teach it. They know what they know, but they can't break it down into pieces that someone else can absorb. Clear explanation requires understanding your own knowledge, identifying what someone else is missing, finding the right analogy or entry point, and adjusting in real time based on whether it's landing. Teachers train for years to do this. Professors with decades of expertise are often terrible at it. The curse of knowledge is real. Once you understand something, you literally cannot remember what it was like to not understand it. Your brain has reorganized around that knowledge. People who can genuinely explain things clearly are so valuable that companies pay consultants enormous fees just to translate between departments. If you can take a technical concept and make your grandmother understand it, you have a skill most experts lack entirely. Number 9, admitting you're wrong. Watch any argument unfold, and you'll see how rare this is. People will twist themselves into logical pretzels to avoid saying 3 simple words. The ability to update your beliefs when presented with new evidence is supposedly the foundation of rational thinking. In practice, almost nobody does it gracefully. Ego gets involved. Identity gets threatened. Admitting error feels like losing. Studies show that when people are presented with facts that contradict their beliefs, they often believe the wrong thing even more strongly. It's called the backfire effect. Your brain treats being wrong as a threat and doubles down to protect itself. People who can say, "Oh, you're right, I hadn't thought of that," and actually mean it are operating against powerful psychological currents. It looks easy. It requires overriding deep defensive instincts. If you can change your mind publicly without making excuses, you're doing something most humans find nearly impossible. Number 8, being on time consistently. This seems like basic functioning, but look around. How many people do you know who are reliably punctual, not occasionally on time, consistently on time, every time, regardless of circumstances? Punctuality requires accurate time estimation, which humans are notoriously bad at. It requires prioritization, actually valuing the commitment enough to protect the time. It requires buffer building, accounting for things that might go wrong. And it requires execution, actually stopping what you're doing and leaving when you plan to. Each step is a failure point. Chronically late, people aren't usually disrespectful. Their brains just process time differently. They underestimate how long things take. They get absorbed in tasks. They optimistically assume traffic will be fine. Truly punctual people have developed systems to override these natural tendencies. They treat time commitments as non-negotiable. In some cultures, being 5 minutes late is normal. In others, it's deeply offensive. But everywhere, the person who's always reliably on time stands out. Number 7, listening without planning your response. Next conversation you have, notice what you're doing while the other person talks. If you're like most people, you're already composing your reply. You're waiting for your turn. You might be nodding, but you're not fully absorbing what they're saying. You're performing listening while actually preparing to speak. Real listening means letting go of your response. It means following their words without judgment, without mentally arguing, without jumping ahead. It means being comfortable with the pause after they finish while you actually process what they said. Therapists train extensively to do this. Hostage negotiators consider it their most critical skill. The person who makes you feel truly heard is doing something difficult. They're suppressing the natural urge to center themselves. Active listening is taught in communication courses because it's not intuitive. If you can have a conversation where you genuinely don't know what you'll say until after you've fully heard the other person, you've developed something rare. Number 6, staying calm in emergencies. When something goes wrong, most people panic. Their heart rate spikes. Their thinking narrows. They freeze or flail. The person who stays calm, who can think clearly when everything is falling apart, has a nervous system that responds differently to threat. Some of this is trainable. First responders, pilots, and surgeons deliberately practice staying functional under pressure. But some people just have a longer fuse before panic sets in. They buy extra seconds of clear thinking when it matters most. In studies of disaster survivors, the people who made good decisions weren't smarter, they were calmer. They could still access their problem-solving abilities while others were running on pure adrenaline. If you're the person others look to when things go sideways, if you can slow down while everyone speeds up, You have a genuine competitive advantage for survival. Panic is the default human response. Calm is the trained exception. Number 5. Reading dense material without giving up. Most people cannot read a difficult book. They'll start. They'll hit a passage they don't understand. They'll reread it once, maybe twice. Then they'll put the book down and never pick it up again. The ability to push through confusion, to tolerate not understanding while trusting that clarity will come, is surprisingly uncommon. Academic papers go largely unread, even by academics in the field, because they're hard. Legal documents are signed without comprehension because parsing them takes effort. Difficult texts require sustained attention that most brains resist. You have to hold uncertainty without resolving it. You have to build understanding gradually, across pages. You have to trust the author while questioning them simultaneously. People who can read philosophy or dense science or complex legal arguments and actually extract meaning have trained their attention in ways most people haven't. If you can finish a hard book and explain it, you've done something most people abandon. Number 4. Apologizing properly. A real apology has specific components: acknowledgement of what you did, recognition of how it affected the other person, expression of genuine remorse, commitment to different behavior, no excuses, no deflection, no but that undermines everything before it. Listen to most apologies and you'll hear subtle blame shifting. I'm sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry, but you also did this. I didn't mean to, so you shouldn't be upset. These aren't apologies. They're negotiations disguised as apologies. A clean apology requires taking full responsibility without protecting your ego. It means sitting in the discomfort of having done wrong without immediately trying to escape it. Public figures pay crisis communications experts thousands of dollars to write apologies, and they still usually mess them up. If you can apologize in a way that actually repairs the relationship instead of making it worse, you have a skill that eludes most people, including professionals. Number 3. Doing focused work for hours. The average person checks their phone every 12 minutes. Most people can't write for 30 minutes without seeking distraction. Deep work, the kind where you're fully absorbed in a cognitively demanding task, is increasingly rare. Your brain wants novelty. It wants the quick dopamine hit of a notification, a new email, a different browser tab. Fighting this urge requires either extraordinary willpower or systems that remove temptation entirely. People who can sit down and work with genuine focus for 2, 3, 4 hours straight are accomplishing something their distraction-addicted peers literally cannot. Studies show it can take over 20 minutes to fully regain focus after an interruption. Most people never get there because they interrupt themselves constantly. Knowledge work increasingly rewards this ability. The person who can do 4 hours of real work beats the person who does 8 hours of scattered half-attention. If you can protect your focus, you have an advantage that's growing more valuable as it grows more rare. Number 2. Giving negative feedback kindly. Telling someone they messed up, that their work isn't good enough, that they need to change, without damaging the relationship or their motivation, is genuinely hard. Most people either avoid the conversation entirely, letting problems fester, or they deliver feedback so harshly it triggers defensiveness. The sweet spot requires honesty without cruelty. It requires caring about the person while critiquing their behavior. You have to be specific enough to be useful, but not so detailed you overwhelm. You have to leave them motivated to improve rather than defeated. Managers receive training on this because it doesn't come naturally. Even with training, most managers are bad at it. The person who can tell you hard truths in a way that makes you grateful rather than resentful has developed genuine emotional intelligence. They're operating with precision in an area where most people use a sledgehammer or avoid the room entirely. Number 1. Maintaining friendships over time. Making friends is one thing. Keeping them across years and life changes is another. People move. Priorities shift. Effort becomes harder. The default trajectory of any friendship is slow decay. Maintaining connection requires initiative that most people don't take. You have to reach out when nothing is happening. You have to remember details and follow up. You have to survive periods of distance without letting the friendship die. Look at older adults, and many have almost no close friends. The friendships from their 20s evaporated through neglect. People who maintain deep friendships across decades are fighting entropy. They're investing in relationships that provide no immediate reward. The people who still have their childhood best friend, who kept college friendships alive, who have people they can call at 2 in the morning, didn't get lucky. They did work that most people quietly stopped doing. Every skill on this list looks basic from the outside. None of them are flashy. You can't put good at apologizing on a resume. But these invisible skills shape the quality of your relationships, your work, and your life. The people who have them often don't realize they're rare. They assume everyone can do what they do. They can't. Which of these skills do you have that you've been taking for granted? Let me know in the comments. I'll be making more videos like this, so subscribe if you want to see them.